the Raj Bhavan. We need to listen in. Yes, please.
माननीय राज्यपालांना आज ईमेलद्वारे अशा प्रकारे भारतीय जनता पक्षाने पत्र दिलेलं आहे आणि या पत्रामध्ये राज्याची आत्ताची जी काही परिस्थिती आहे त्याचा आम्ही उल्लेख केला आहे. ज्या बातम्या आम्हाला पाहायला मिळत आहेत, शिवसेनेचे 39 आमदार हे बाहेर आहेत. काँग्रेस राष्ट्रवादी सोबत आम्हाला राहायचं नाही असा पवित्रा त्यांनी घेतलेला आहे. अशा या सगळ्या परिस्थितीमध्ये माननीय मुख्यमंत्र्यांजवळ आणि सरकारजवळ बहुमत शिल्लक राहिलेलं नाही. त्यामुळे त्यांना बहुमत सिद्ध करायला सांगावं अशा प्रकारची विनंती करणारं पत्र हे आम्ही आज राज्यपालांना दिलंय. आता त्या संदर्भात माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालयाचे विविध निर्णय जे आहेत त्या निर्णयांचाही काही उल्लेख आम्ही केलेला आहे आणि त्याच्या आधारावर माननीय राज्यपाल उचित निर्णय घेतील आणि मेजॉरिटी सिद्ध करण्याकरता योग्य ते निर्देश देतील अशा प्रकारची आम्हाला अपेक्षा आहे. आज राज्यपाल जी को ईमेल के माध्यम से और प्रत्यक्ष रूप से हमने पत्र दिया है और इस पत्र में हमने ये कहा है कि राज्य की जो परिस्थिति दिखाई पड़ती है, इस परिस्थिति में शिवसेना के 39 विधायक ये बाहर है और वो लगातार ये कह रहे हैं कि हम कांग्रेस एनसीपी की सरकार में नहीं रहना चाहते और इसका सीधा मतलब है कि ये 39 एमएलएस ये सरकार के साथ नहीं है या वे महाविकास आघाड़ी को समर्थन नहीं देना चाहते. और इसलिए हमने राज्यपाल जी को कहा है कि चूंकि सरकार अल्पमत में दिखाई पड़ती है, इसलिए तुरंत सरकार को आप निर्देश दें, मुख्यमंत्री को निर्देश दें कि माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी फ्लोर टेस्ट करें और अपना बहुमत सिद्ध करें.
All right, 29. 29 is the number of MLAs that Devendra Fadnavis says, the ex-Chief Minister, BJP leader and leader of opposition. He says, this is the conversation I had with the governor right now. I told him that the current government does not have a majority and he should call the Chief Minister to conduct a floor test and prove his majority. Ketan, is this a surprise move? Because everyone was asking when that penny would drop. It's happened at 10 in the evening. Today, is the Sena prepared? Ketan, can you hear me? Ketan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right.
Go ahead with your question.
Okay, let me repeat that question. I'm saying that, you know, it was being predicted that sooner or later there would be a first move. People thought it would be Eknath Shinde. It was being projected that Eknath Shinde probably would be the one to go to the governor. It is Devendra Fadnavis who's landed up there. Is the Sena prepared to respond?
Well, so it is clear that Eknath Shinde is the rebel. However, the leader of opposition is Devendra Fadnavis. So Devendra Fadnavis, has he staked claim to form the government? No. As a leader of the opposition, he has every right to bring it to the notice of the governor that the incumbent government doesn't have the requisite number to rule. It has a less majority because as we have seen that there are almost 39, and I'm quoting the number that the rebel side has presented in the Supreme Court. There are 39 Shiv Sena MLAs who have gone to Guwahati, and plus there are certain independent MLAs who are also supporting taking the number to odd 50 MLAs. Which were earlier the part of the MVA alliance, and the total number of MVA MLAs was 170, and the magic figure in the Maharashtra Assembly is 145. So clearly, on the face of it, it looks as if this government has come and lost its majority. That is what the Devendra Fadnavis government, Devendra Fadnavis has submitted and has met the governor and has sought a floor test. So I immediately communicate. I asked for a reaction from the Uddhav Thackeray camp, his media advisor, and he has told me that until we get any letter or any communique from the Raj Bhavan, we won't react to this. However, earlier, 2 hours back, when I asked a hypothetical question to the Shiv Sena spokesperson and Rajya Sabha MP, Anil Desai, that if, going by the current situation, if at all, the opposition and the rebel MLAs, if they ask for a voice vote before 12th of July, when the Supreme Court is supposed to hear the matter, what will you do? He said, we won't let that happen. We would seek courts. We will again approach the Supreme Court, because when the Supreme Court was hearing this matter yesterday, it has said that you can approach us anytime. We are open 24 hours. So from the face of it, what I am gathering is that the MVA won't take it lying down.
Ketan, hold on. I'm running that soundbite once again of what exactly Devendra Fadnavis said after emerging from his meeting with the governor. Listen in.
आज राज्यपाल जी को ईमेल के माध्यम से और प्रत्यक्ष रूप से हमने पत्र दिया है, और इस पत्र में हमने ये कहा है कि राज्य की जो परिस्थिति दिखाई पड़ती है, इस परिस्थिति में शिवसेना के 39 विधायक ये बाहर है, और वो लगातार ये कह रहे हैं कि हम कांग्रेस एनसीपी की सरकार में नहीं रहना चाहते, और इसका सीधा मतलब है कि ये 39 MLAs ये सरकार के साथ नहीं है, या वे महाविकास आघाड़ी को समर्थन नहीं देना चाहते। और इसलिए हमने राज्यपाल जी को ये कहा है कि चूंकि सरकार अल्पमत में दिखाई पड़ती है, इसलिए तुरंत सरकार को आप निर्देश दें, मुख्यमंत्री को निर्देश दें कि माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी फ्लोर टेस्ट करें और अपना बहुमत सिद्ध करें।
All right, let me go across to Ketan. Ketan joining us now live on this breaking story and fast-paced developments. Ketan, what are the numbers looking like right now? Because Devendra Fadnavis talked about 29 MLAs of the Sena who have now broken away. There are 8 MLAs. There are 8 MLAs who have written a letter. 1 minute. There are 8 MLAs who have written a letter to the governor. Okay, so how do the numbers now stack up?
Okay, so Tamanna, he mentioned 39, which means 39. So he is exactly mentioning the same figure. 39 शिवसेना के MLA खुश नहीं है, और उन्होंने बोला है कि वो उद्धव ठाकरे सरकार के साथ नहीं है, which means that there are 39 MLAs who have said now and again they are unhappy with the incumbent government and they are not with the government. So the 8 MLAs who have written the letter, those are the independent MLAs. But for now, because there are 39 MLAs out of the total 55 Shiv Sena MLAs that are not with the government, so clearly even if we subtract those 39 MLAs from the 169 MLAs that MVA has, then that tally comes to around less than 139 MLAs, and the simple majority is 145. If we subtract the independent MLAs who have gone to Guwahati further, then that number comes hovers around 129, 130 MLAs, whereas for a simple majority to run a government in Maharashtra, you need 145. So what Devendra Fadnavis has pointed out is that because these Shiv Sena MLAs are saying that they are not with the Uddhav Thackeray government, so the government currently seems to be in minority. And so I urge the governor to instruct the chief minister to conduct a floor test. So he has demanded a floor test. The date of the floor test, when the session will be convened and all, is not clear as yet. But from what Devendra Fadnavis has said on record, officially, he has mentioned that the governor, that the incumbent government has come into minority,
Right.
and so it doesn't have a right to run.
My question
and
is
so
why
the
now?
governor,
Why
using
now?
his power,
The
should instruct
incumbent
the CM
government
to conduct a floor test.
The incumbent government, as a reaction to, or just because of the fact that so many of their MLAs and ministers, sitting ministers, are not in the city. They've moved to Guwahati. They've been writing letters. They've been saying we don't want to be with you. So they have come into minority a while ago. What has changed today? That's the question. But let me go across to Yogi Gade. Stay on with me, Ketan. Yogi Gade is joining me now. He's a Shiv Sena leader. Mr. Gade, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So what are we seeing right now? We're seeing your government collapsing before our eyes. Devendra Fadnavis has gone to the governor. He has said that this government is in a minority. You have to go to the floor of the House and prove that you have the numbers. Will you be able to do that?
The floor test will decide that. And basically, it took so long because we're seeing this situation folding since like last 9-10 days. And finally, today they have demanded for a floor test. So it will be ahead to see what the MLAs of this 39 MLAs do on the floor test, because some of them yet tell that they were taken forcefully or no, that the answer will also come on the floor test whenever it is happening, And you get to see also who is behind this force. But the other question is, the central agencies had put a lot of ED notices on all these MLAs and various other charges like murder charges and all. So will they take the support of these MLAs also is a question to be asked.
No, that is fine. But all of these questions should have been asked before. The fact is that these MLAs have been sitting in Guwahati for a while. This stalemate has been going on for a while. Someone needed to make the first move. Now Mr. Fadnavis has made the first move. What is the choice before the Sena?
They have made the first move, but it is after so long. You get to know. They should have done this quite earlier. And now the floor test will decide what will happen.
All right. I have Sanjay Hegde with me. Mr. Hegde, how are you seeing the breakdown of the numbers? When Mr. Fadnavis has gone to the Raj Bhavan, he's asked the governor to call for a floor test. The governor clearly can, right? Because it's not in session. The assembly is not in session till later in July. So the governor can now call for a floor test because he has been informed that the current government is in minority. So he's well within his rights and his duties to call for a floor test. Is that correct?
The exact position. The governor can request the chief minister saying that doubts have arisen about your majority. Please convene the assembly and have a motion of confidence in your favor. The chief minister, if he does not listen to that advice, then the governor may conceivably say that there is a breakdown of constitutional machinery. We are not going that far. The one thing that I want to tell you and your viewers is that this concept of that a government should always be in a majority in a parliamentary system, that is wrong. There have been minority governments also in this country. You've had Indira Gandhi running a minority government. Narasimha Rao ran a minority government. And in many states, there have been minority governments. What Mr. Fadnavis today has done is ask the governor to get the chief minister to prove his majority. He himself has not staked claim. Now, as I told you earlier, I do anticipate that the chief minister's side will be asking the Supreme Court that till the question of defection is decided or disqualification is decided, no floor test can take place. And going by the way the court operates, we are today on the 28th. There are 3 more days in the week when the vacation bench of Justice Suryakant and Justice Pardiwala will still be sitting. So what I actually anticipate as a lawyer familiar with the workings of the Supreme Court is that we might be looking at a Supreme Court hearing sometime around Friday, the 1st of July.
So, if this is a recommendation from, or if this is a question from the governor to the chief minister, is it now Mr. Uddhav Thackeray's point of view or his decision to when to finally call the floor test?
He can of course ask the Secretary of the Legislative Assembly to convene the Assembly, or he can tell the governor that the government is agreeable to having a floor test. But what now seems more likely is that there is going to be one more session in the Supreme Court saying that even if we have a floor test, we have to decide who all are entitled to participate in this. These 16 MLAs, there is a disqualification case pending against them. Supposing the Deputy Speaker says that pending the disqualification proceedings, they will not be allowed to participate or something of that kind. There are several maneuvers, parliamentary maneuvers on the floor of the House. What is to happen? So instead of that, let's put everything on hold till the 11th of July when you can hear the case. That seems to be a possibility, and I'm only going by what one of your earlier panelists said. So, and if they do go to the Supreme Court, I look at the 1st of July as a possible date on which the Supreme Court will hear it, because the same bench has to hear it.
Okay, I'm going to take a very short break. We're coming back with an update of everything on the story. All of our reporters, all of our speakers, don't go away. This is news breaking right now.